this year. And if you also look at the what really constitutes the GDP itself, you can see that it is much more of service economy. Service economy provide much more output to our GDP. When we say service economy, that simply means consultancy and jobs that are related to services. And you see that our agriculture slowed down drastically, and our industry also slowed down drastically. You know, in quarter one, we are saying that it's because of Naira redesign and what have you that makes the economy to slow down. But now also you can see that it's the outflow also still affect now. But this simply shows that we need to do more in terms of in our industry, in our manufacturing industry. Our output must be optimal compared to what we are having now. And our agriculture, maybe, I don't know, maybe the anchor borrower, all those things that President Muhammad Buhari actually done has been eroded by security. Maybe the current president have to rejig the
flooding that we had last year, and the insecurity that is preventing farmers from going to farm.
Exactly,
is impacting on agriculture.
Exactly. Not only even that, even the Naira redesign also affects the politics and what have you. So a lot of things are affected. But I think now that we have the minister, they must come and really work. And we have coordinating minister of the economy. And this is the time for him to start hit the ground running. And our agricultural sector has to also move beyond where we are, because we are not doing well at all. You know, we could say maybe the insecurity, but we should also go into other way of farming. Farming has gone beyond. You must also stay in the deep. There are other system of farming now. If you are going to along Kaduna, Abuja, you see by the road, you all see people. You see that net.
More like a cluster farming.
Exactly. We must start looking into that and do something very meaningful before.
Talking about flood now, there's also a warning now from Lagdo in Cameroon yesterday that about 13 states in Nigeria are at risk of getting flooded again this year. And any moment from now, they will release water from that dam. And Nigeria is usually where the havoc is usually more serious.
If you ask me, I think federal government and states are not serious in curbing this problem of a Lagdo dam. You remember in 2016, the Cameroon and Nigeria agreed that they will be informing us, and they are informing us, but there's an agreement again that we will create a dam in Nigeria. So have you created any dam? We expect to create a dam that will cushion this, that will take over this, because if they release this thing, it's going to affect about 12 states. And those states also, I want to also blame most of our governors. They always come to federal government to collect money. They're not telling federal government to build a dam that will take this water from. So you're not telling people to move from lowland to higher ground so that they will not suffer. So now the logistics, the cost, the NEMA, the SEMA, and a lot of them, the amount they will pay, you understand now, to relocate people and what have you, it's a serious issue. And as like we are actually discussing here, it will take a lot of our farmland. And the problem of Lagdo Dam is not only the people. What about the farmland that it will erode? Remember, it's through Benue Basin and what have you. And this is the major place that we get our food from. I think federal government need to do more by creating a dam that will take charge of this Lagdo Dam, and will not be having every year problem. Remember, 2012 we suffered it, 2019 we suffered it, even this very 2022 we suffered this enormously, that even farmers are still struggling, to really solve this problem of water. So federal government need to do more about this Lagdo Dam, and the only problem is to create a dam, like they agree with Cameroon that they will create a dam that will take over and absorb this water. If not, these states cannot absorb this water. It's going to affect us drastically. Coupled with the economic problem we are having, it will be a double jeopardy. Indeed,
double jeopardy. There is also in the news today that Nigeria food import has increased by 122%. That is a deficit of about 4.9 trillion naira. Is it that the effort of government is failing? Their effort to ensure food security, is it failing? Are they failing the people?
Well, looking at that importation that have increased to 122%, I want to appreciate President Tinubu. I think that's part of what he saw when he created national food security. Now, so that they will now emergency. He creates emergency. He declares emergency on food security. Exactly. Now, for President Tinubu to declare food emergency, on emergency security or what have you, it simply means that he has noticed the problem, the enormous problem that we're likely to have. But the problem is that.
But I was also wondering, why is it that some of our presidents prefer to be ministers of petroleum. Why can't they adopt the Ministry of Agriculture?
And that will really have worked better. Maybe they looked at that as low-hanging fruit that is surviving the economy. However, on the issue of food security, our major problem is not even producing food. If you look at it very, very well, we can say security has affected the production itself, but our major problem is supply chain problem. Because the problem of supply chain, if I produce tomato in Kebbi, in Core Kebbi, how do I transport this to Lagos? You know, that's the major problem. You know, we don't have a functional rail that could take your produce from Kebbi to Lagos. And when you are passing through road, you know, the road, even the feeder road that will take the produce from the core farm to the maybe the market and what have you, it's got a problem. And also to transport it down to Abuja. Remember that first subsidy has been removed. For you to move a 40-feet container or what have you down to Lagos or down to South, it's a serious problem. So government should come in terms of giving sense of urgency to our supply chain. You know, supply chain is a very big thing that if you solve supply chain problem for farmers, you would have solved a lot of things. There could be special vehicle or special way or route that this produce has to pass through. So we need to look at that to really achieve this food emergency on food security.
Another area again that you rightly made mention, the oil sector is you call it the low-hanging fruit that actually run the economy. And if you look at the contribution to GDP in the second quarter of 2023, it's about just 5.34%. This is very, very, very low. I'll recall that our crude oil production has also dropped to 1.22 million barrels per day. Why is the oil sector contribution so low?
Right. Now we look at oil contribution, oil sector's contribution. You know, it's not only the producing of that oil itself, the production that we are producing. It also forms the major part of our foreign exchange. That is the only way we get foreign because that's the only thing we are exporting. Now, in terms of our maybe level of what we refine, oil that we produce compared to OPEC approval. I think OPEC quota. I think the federal government is trying to still meet up. That's why you are seeing that all of them are going to illegal what do you call it? Refineries and what have you. But the major thing is that government must be focused until we hit that OPEC level of approval before we can really get a benefit for it. Remember that Nigeria is not benefiting even if there is increase globally. You know why? The cost of it domestically is going to erode it because we are going to buy at international price. So until we are refining in Nigeria and selling petroleum in Nigeria, that's when we benefit. If not, the rentier economy that we are using